Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter 10, text 41. This chapter is entitled as Bhagavatam is the answer to all questions. Satyam, Rajas, Tama, Iti, Tishraha, Sura, Nri, Narakaha, Tatrapi, Ekoikasho, Rajan, Viddante, Gatayas, Tridha, Jadoikoikotaro, Anyabhyam, Swabhava, Upahannate. Satyang Rajastama iti Tisra Sura Nrinaraka Tatrape Kaikasho Rajan Viddante Gatayastridha Jadoikoiko Taro Annabhyam Swabhava Upahannate. Satyang Rajastama iti Tisra Sura Nrinaraka Tatrape Kaikasho Rajan Viddante Gatayastridha Jadoikoiko Taronyabhyam Swabhava Upahannate. Satyang Rajastama iti Tisra Sura Nrinaraka Tatrape Kaikasho Rajan Viddante Gatayastridha Jadoikoiko Taranyabhyam Swabhava Upahannate. Rajas Mataji's. Satyam, the mode of goodness. Rajaha, the mode of passion. Tamaha, the mode of darkness. Iti, thus. Tisraha, the three. Sura, demigod. Nri, human being. Naraka, one who is suffering in hellish condition. Nri, human being. Naraka, Naraka, one who is suffering hellish condition. Tatra api, even there. Ekoikasaha, another. Rajan, O king. Bhiddante, divide into. Gataya, movements. Tridha, three. Jada, at that time. Ekaikataraha, one in relation with another. Anyabham, from the other. Swabhavaha, habit. Upahannate, develops. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. According to the different modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of darkness, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods, human beings, and hellish living entities. O King, even a particular mode of nature, being mixed with the other two, is divided into three, and thus each kind of living creature is influenced by the other modes and acquires its habits also. Please repeat. According to the different modes of material nature, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of darkness, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods, human beings, and hellish living entities. O King, even a particular mode of nature, being mixed with the other two, is divided into three, and thus each kind of living creature is influenced by the other modes and acquires its habits also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The living entities individually are being conducted by a particular mode of nature, but at the same time there is every chance of their being influenced by the other two. Generally, all conditioned souls in the material entanglement, in material engagement, are influenced by the mode of passion, because every one of them is trying to lord it over the material nature to fulfill his individual desire. But in spite of the individual mode of passion, there is always the chance of being influenced by the other modes of nature by association. If one is in good association, he can develop the mode of goodness, and if in bad association, he may develop the mode of darkness or ignorance. Nothing is stereotyped. One can change his habit by good or bad association, and one has to become intelligent enough to discriminate between good and bad. The best association is the service of the devotees of the Lord. And by that association, one can become the highest qualified man by the grace of the Lord's pure devotees. As we have already seen in the life of Srila Narada Muni, he became the topmost devotee of the Lord simply by the association of pure devotees of the Lord. By birth, he was the son of a maidservant, and he had no knowledge of his father and no academic education, even of the lowest status. But simply by associating with the devotees and by eating the remnants of their foodstuff, he gradually developed the transcendental qualities of the devotees. By such association, his taste for chanting and hearing the transcendental glories of the Lord became prominent. And because the glories of the Lord are non-different from the Lord, he got direct association with the Lord by means of sound representation. Similarly, there is the life of Ajamil, 6th Canto, who was the son of a Brahmana and was educated and trained properly in the discharge of the duties of a Brahmana, but who, in spite of all these, because he contacted the bad association of a prostitute, was put into the path of the lowest quality of Chandala, or the last position for a human being. Therefore, the Bhagavatam always recommends the association of the Mahat, or the great soul, for opening the gates of salvation. To associate with persons engaged in lording it over the material world means to enter into the darkest region of hell. One should try to raise himself by the association of the great soul. That is the way of the perfection of life. According to different modes of material nature, the modes of ignorance, the mode of passion, and the mode of darkness, there are different living creatures who are known as demigods, human beings, and hellish living entities. O King, even a particular mode of nature, being mixed with the other two, is divided into three, and thus each kind of living creature is influenced by the other modes and acquires its habits also. So, this chapter is describing how the ultimate wisdom, ultimate spiritual understanding has been given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ultimate point of wisdom, ultimate platform of wisdom. Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all the Vedas, in a way that Srimad Bhagavatam is the complete glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are different personalities, like we see in the material platform, in the material nature, there are different elevated personalities. But beyond that are the demigods. Beyond that, beyond the demigods are the great sages. There are 7 higher planetary systems. Earth planet, then beyond the Earth planet is Bhubarloka. Beyond Bhubarloka, then Swarloka. The demigods reside in the Swarloka, or the heavenly planets. And above Swarloka are Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. And then finally, Satyaloka. Thus the Satyaloka is the highest region, highest loka or planet in this universe. So demigods reside in Swargaloka. Then above Sargaloka are the Maharloka, where different sages reside. And the sages also have their categories. And beyond Maharloka is Janaloka. Then beyond Janaloka is Tapaloka. And Tapaloka, beyond Tapaloka is Satyaloka. Satyaloka is the platform where Lord Brahma is situated. And beyond Satyaloka are the 7 layers of the material elements, 7 layers of the universe. Beyond those 7 layers of the universe is Brahma Jyoti, or Viraja. The first aspect of that spiritual element is Viraja, or the causal ocean, and beyond the causal ocean is Brahma Jyoti, and beyond Brahma Jyoti is the abode of Lord Shiva, Mahesh Dham, and beyond Mahesh Dham is Vaikuntha Loka, and beyond Vaikuntha Loka, and the topmost region of the spiritual sky is Golok, Vrindavan, which has been described in Brahma Samhita very categorically. Goloko namni nijadhamni talecha tasya devi mahesha haridham shuteshu teshu tete prabhava nichaya vihitascha yena govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. So Goloko namni nijadhamni, his personal abode, nijadham, is Golok. And below that there are Devi Dham, that is the abode of Mahamaya, which is the material nature. Then beyond the material nature is Mahesha Dham, the abode of Lord Shiva. Devi, Mahesha, and then beyond that is Haridham, or the abode of Lord Hari. So, in this way we can see that Lord Shiva's abode is actually beyond the material nature. And Lord Shiva has 2 aspects. One is the Sadasiva aspect. He is in the material, beyond the material nature, where he is situated in the spiritual sky. And in that respect, there is very little difference between Lord Shiva and Narayan. The difference actually is very little. Like sometimes it has been described, like we find in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gopkumar encountered Lord Shiva surrounded by his associates were describing him that he is as good as Hari, as good as Narayan. And also, from another consideration, we can see that a jiva, a living entity, has 50 qualities. And of the living entities, the most perfected being is Lord Brahma. In Lord Brahma, those 50 qualities are fully manifest. But in Lord Shiva, 55 qualities are manifest, which these other 5, extra 5 qualities, jivas cannot possibly have. And then Narayan or Hari, Vishnu, has 60 qualities. Those extra 5 qualities are not there in Lord Shiva. And then Krishna has 64 qualities. And those extra 4 qualities are not present in Narayan. So in this way, qualitatively, the position of different personalities have been described. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Narayan, and ultimately Krishna. So these are very intricate analysis, and it is not possible for ordinary living entities to properly understand these differences. But at least one thing we can understand, that Lord Shiva's position is very, very exalted. Very exalted. There is Jiva Tattva and there is Vishnu Tattva. But Lord Shiva's position is beyond Jiva Tattva. Lord Shiva is not a Jiva Tattva. Brahma is a Jiva Tattva. Of course, sometimes the Lord himself assumes the role of Brahma. When there is no qualified Jiva to accept the position of Lord Brahma, then the Lord himself assumes the position of Lord Brahma. But generally, Lord Brahma is a Jiva Tattva. But Lord Shiva is not Jiva Tattva. He has a specific category himself, which is known as Shiva Tattva. He is beyond the Jivas. Although Brahma is categorized as the Guna avatar of Vishnu, and Lord Shiva also is categorized as Guna avatar, but Lord Shiva's position is very, very exalted. Not just an incarnation who is controlling the modes of the nature, especially the mode of ignorance, tamogun, but Lord Shiva's position is something very exalted in the sense there is a very little difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lord Shiva. His incarnation actually is that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself with a little transformation. And this has been categorically described in Brahma Samhita, in that verse, Kshirang yatha dadhi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tata prithagasti hetu ya sambhutam api tatha samupaiti karjad govindam adi purusham tamaham bhaja. Kshirang yatha dadhi vikara vishesha yoga, just as milk by contact with vikara vishesha yoga, with contact of acid becomes dadhi, becomes yogurt. Similarly, ja sambhutam api tatha samupaiti karja. The Lord, in order to perform a very specific duty, a very specific purpose, assumes the role of Lord Shiva. And what is that specific purpose? There are various purposes why Lord assumes or incarnates himself as Lord Shiva. But one main purpose actually is to deal with the material nature. Material nature, which is the external energy of the Lord. This material nature requires to come in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead to become manifest. Without the potency of the Lord, material nature cannot become manifest. Material nature remains in an unmanifest stage of Vyakta. But in order to become manifest or Vyakta, there is a need for Lord's contact, the contact of the superior energy of the Lord. Now, since material nature is the external energy, the Lord does not directly come in contact with the material nature. Therefore, he transforms himself into Lord Shiva to deal with the material nature. And that's why we see that the material nature is Mahamaya. Material nature is personified as Durga, Parvati, Sati, etc. Mahamaya. Now who is the husband of Mahamaya? Lord Shiva. So in this way, to deal with the material nature, the Lord transforms himself into Lord Shiva. So he is not quite Vishnu Tattva, but he is a Tattva in himself. There is a little difference. Milk has become yogurt. Yogurt is milk. There is no difference between milk and yogurt, but still there is a difference. Therefore, there is a slight difference between Shiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva. And Lord Shiva, again, is Vaishnavanam Yatha Sambhu. He is categorized as the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in this aspect, he is considered to be most exalted among all the devotees of Vishnu or Vaishnavas. Therefore, the Vaishnavas never have any conflict with Lord Shiva. Vaishnavas worship Lord Shiva. Vaishnavas seek the mercy of Lord Shiva because they know in order to make spiritual advancement they have to have the blessings and mercy of Lord Shiva. Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Shankar Mahadev ki Gaur Premanand. It is unfortunate that less intelligent people make some discrimination between Hari and Lord Shiva. That is unfortunate due to their ignorance of understanding who Lord Shiva actually is. If we properly understand Lord Shiva, then we can't possibly have any disagreement or conflict. We notice how Lord Shiva is always favoring the Vaishnavas. In the 4th canto, in the stories of the Prachetas, in Rudra Gita, when the Prachetas approached Lord Shiva is telling that devotees are very dear to me. Those who are the devotees of Hari, they are very dear to me. And he is always there to help the devotees of Hari or Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is always bestowing his mercy upon a special favor unto the devotees of the Lord. He is actually very merciful. He is very quickly pleased. He is very quickly satisfied. Therefore he is Ashutosh. Ashu means quickly, Tosh means satisfied. And he is very quickly satisfied. Like when Brikashura was trying to please Lord Shiva and get his benediction, he was performing some terrible penances. He was cutting the flesh of his body and offering it to the fire to please Lord Shiva. And finally, he was about to cut off his hair and offer it to the fire. And Lord Shiva appeared there. And he said, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "I'm doing it to please you." And Lord Shiva said, "This is not the way to please me. You can just offer a little Ganga water with bale leaf and I'll be satisfied." Bilwa Patra, just offer some Ganga water and bale leaf to me, I'll be satisfied. There was a hunter who was hunting and he shoot his arrow to a bird in a tree. And that arrow cut some bay leaf, and Lord Shiva was situated under that tree, and that bay leaf fell on Lord Shiva's head. And he became pleased, and he said, "Oh, who offered this bay leaf to me?" The hunter, then he saw the hunter and he asked the hunter, "Tell me what you want. Whatever you want, just ask for some boon." That is how quickly Lord Shiva becomes pleased. And why he is so pleased? Because he, in that sense, he is the father of all living entities. He is the father of all living entities. Because if the material nature is the mother, then who is the seed-giving father? It's Lord Shiva. That's why the worship of Lord Shiva takes place in the form of the lingam. He is the ultimate seed-giving father in the material nature. Tashang Brahma Mahojyonir Ahang Bija Pradapita. When Krishna is saying that in Bhagavad Gita, Tashang Brahma Mahojyonir Ahang Bija Pradapita, I am the seed-giving father. That seed-giving father aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Shiva. And just as Father is naturally very merciful, very kind, very compassionate to his children, Lord Shiva is extremely merciful to his children. And sometimes naughty children try to take advantage of the Father's kindness. So many demons so often try to please Lord Shiva, get some sort of benedictions, and simply to create problem. They create problem to Lord Shiva also. For example, this Brikashura, after this terrible penance, when he received the mercy of Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva asked him, "So what do you want?" He said, "I want power." He said, "Fine, what kind of power do you want?" He said, "Upon whoever I touch, he will immediately die. When I put my hand over somebody's head, his head will immediately crack into pieces." Lord Shiva said, "Fine." And then he said, "Okay, now I want to put my hand on your head." And he was in difficulty, so he ran. He ran through different planetary systems, and Brikashura also was chasing him. So finally he comes to Shwetadeep, the abode of Vishnu. And he tells Vishnu what actually happened. So Vishnu says, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." So Brikashura was chasing, and Vishnu assumed the form of a little boy and asked Brikashura, "What happened? Why are you struggling so much? Why are you so distressed? After all, your body is very important, so you should not unnecessarily trouble your body. This body is the means to fulfill the desires of your mind. So don't unnecessarily strain your body. Relax." So this boy, then Brikashura, thought that's true actually. My body is very important. And so he said, "Now you relax and tell me, why are you running like this?" He said, "You see, I want to kill Lord Shiva. And I want to kill him and take his wife, Gauri." So he said, "But to kill Lord Shiva is not that easy. He is very powerful." He said, but I have become more powerful than him. He said, how? He said that whoever I put my hand on, his head would immediately crack into 1,000 pieces and he will die. He said, how did you get this power? He said, Shiva gave it to me. He said, Shiva, actually, he says all kinds of things, but it's not that always it comes true. And he said that kind of power is impossible. Nobody can give. Lord Shiva actually tried to cheat you. See, why don't you put your hand on your own head and see? And the demon was naturally bewildered by the Vishnu Maya. He was bewildered. And he did that. He put his hand on his head. And what happened immediately? His head cracked into 1,000 pieces. So in this way, the Lord Shiva gives a very quick benediction, but it leads him into difficulties at times. This also has been very beautifully pointed out in Brihad Bhagavatam. When in the first part of Brihad Bhagavatam, when Narad Muni was searching for the greatest devotee, and he approached Lord Shiva and started to glorify him as the greatest devotee of the Lord, Lord Shiva's response was that, no, I am not the great devotee of the Lord. Rather, I cause so much difficulties to the Lord so often. And so mercifully He forgives all my offenses. Not knowing the consequences, I give benedictions. And those benedictions result into all kinds of difficulties to the Lord. And He'll have to come and rectify those situations. And you can see time and time again, these difficulties had to be rectified by the Lord coming in different ways. But of course, another consideration is that Lord Shiva does assist the Lord in so many wonderful ways. Like whenever some very special mission has to be accomplished, then it is Lord Shiva who actually does that. For example, when the milk ocean was churned in order to get the nectar, then first came out halahal, first came out the poison. And that poison was about to destroy the whole creation. And then Narayana asked Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva, you drink that poison. And he did that. He just drank that poison, but he did not allow that poison to go down his neck. It was kept in his neck. And that's why his neck became blue due to the effect of that poison. That's why one of the names of Lord Shiva is Nilakantha. When the Tripura demon was to be killed, it was very difficult actually to kill this Tripura. Only at some point when these three planets would come together, their abodes would come together, that also after a long, long time, then only they could have been killed, these three demons. But Lord Shiva did that. He just, as soon as these three planetary systems came together, he destroyed them. There was another very terrible demon, Shankachura. It was Sudama who was cursed to become a demon. And he became the husband of Tulasi. And he was so powerful that nobody could kill him. And he took away the abode, the heavenly planet, took away the drove away the demigods, took away all the power of the universe. The only person who could actually kill him was Lord Shiva. So, of course, with the help of Vishnu, he arranged, like Jalandhar or Sankhachura had a kavacha, Vaishnav kavach, and as a result of that he became immortal. Nobody could kill him as long as he had that kavacha with him. And also another condition was that as long as his wife would remain chaste, nobody would be able to kill him. She was the most chaste woman, Tulasi. And no one could kill him. So, and as a result of that, he became so powerful. But the Lord actually appeared to him as a Brahmana and asked for his kavach, took that kavach away. And he was so generous that when the Lord asked him for the kavach, he gave it to him. And then he assumed the form of Shankachura when he was away in the battlefield and approached Tulasi. And Tulasi thought that her husband came back. And as a result of that, she lost her chastity. And in this way, Shankachura became vulnerable. And then Lord Shiva, who got the trident from the Lord, with the trident, Trishula, he killed Shankachura. Then he collected the bones of Shankachura with the Shula and threw it in the ocean. And those bones of Shankachura became the conch shells, sankhas. And when Tulsi found out that it is Vishnu who actually assumed the form of her husband and approached her, he cursed Vishnu that you acted in such a abominable way, devoid of any feelings. You acted like a stone, so you become a stone. And that, due to that curse, the Lord became Shalagram, Shila. And the Lord blessed Tulasi that you will become a river and I will stay with you. So she became Gandaki, and Shaligram is found only in Gandaki river. Nowhere else this Shaligram is found. And Tulasi's hair became the plant, Tulasi plant. And in this way, these three articles became the integral part of the worship of the Lord. The Lord became Shaligram, and Tulasi and Shankha became absolutely essential for the worship of the Lord. Without Tulasi, Vishnu worship is not complete. Worship of Vishnu takes place with the manjari of the Tulasi. So in this way we can see the Lord's pastimes are so wonderful. He acts in such a wonderful way, but all these activities have a very special purpose and meaning. Lord Shiva's another very wonderful aspect of Lord Shiva is that he guards the gate of Vaikuntha. So if anybody wants to go back to Vaikuntha, the spiritual sky, he has to go there through his mercy. Another wonderful aspect of Lord Shiva is that when one takes shelter of Lord Shiva, he conquers death. Just by surrendering to Lord Shiva, taking shelter of Lord Shiva, one can conquer death. One can become immortal. And this is the place of Lord Shiva, Mahakaleshwar, the Lord of eternal time. Time controls everything. So in this aspect, Lord Shiva is actually controlling everything in the material nature. Through material nature, Mother Nature, we get our bodies, but we all are being controlled by the Lord in the form of Mahakal. Maha means great and time is Kal. The great time. And we are here, we established our temple of Radha Madan Mohan, and we seek for Lord Shiva's blessings that we can become properly engaged in the service of the Lord. And by his blessings, that desire can be very easily accomplished, very easily, that desire can be fulfilled. So we pray to Lord Shiva that we can serve his worshipable Lord, Madan Mohan, and become his devotees. Also, we have Krishna Balaram here. This Balaram's expansion is Shankarshan. And Shankarshan is actually the worshipable Lord of Lord Shiva. Shankar is always meditating on Shankarshan, Balaram. So today is Mahashivaratri, the day when Lord Shiva is worshipped. This is a big festival here today. I believe from 4 o'clock in the morning, thousands of people are visiting Mahakal temple. And many of them will also be coming here. So that's why, in order to worship Lord Shiva in our own way, we have our altar here today. And people will have an opportunity to bathe Lord Shiva. How the bathing? Do you have bale leaf? We have bale leaves. And we have Ganga water? Water, milk. Okay, so we can bathe Lord Shiva with this water, and he himself said that if one just offers himself, bathes him with Ganga water and bale leaf, he'll become pleased. So let us please him. When will the bathing start? After the Bhagavatam class? Okay. Okay, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question?
Why this 2 days were observing Shivratri? What is this? His birthday or?
Yeah, this is the day he appeared in the material nature through Lord Brahma. Although he is spiritual, situated in the spiritual sky, but he comes in the material nature through Lord Brahma, from between his eyebrows as the Rudra. So that is, in that sense, today is his birthday, appearance day. Okay, so you have the ready answer. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Jai Shri Shri Varatri ki, Jai Shankar Mahadev ki, Devadi Dev Mahadev